Number 10. Andy Llewellyn. In 2017, Andy Llewellyn was attacked by a bird of prey as he was jogging down Infinity Park Way in Derby, England. He didn't see it, but only heard the flapping of wings on his shoulder as the buzzard plunged its talons into his head. After the attack, Llewellyn started running in fear and later claimed that, ironically, he made his fastest time. He was left with 2 bloody marks that ran lengthwise atop his skull. When he went to a clinic, the doctors who treated the deep wounds claimed they'd never heard of such an attack. Indeed, an ornithologist agreed that such aggressive behavior was rare. The theory was that Llewellyn had probably run too close to a nest and thus had been attacked by a protective parent. Today's featured fan shoutout is Instagram follower Taylor Nicole Theodore. To appear in our next video, send us your pic rocking the latest merch from theywillkillyou.com and send it in to us on Instagram today. Number 9. Craig SYTSMA. In July of 2014, jogger Craig SYTSMA was mauled to death by a pair of dogs in Michigan's Metamora Township. The 46-year-old cancer survivor had run a little over a mile on Thomas Road when the 100-pound Cane Corsos attacked him. They pulled SYTSMA into a grassy ditch and viciously bit him in the arms, legs, chest, and back. The man struggled for his life and screamed for help. As the dogs retreated, a neighbor rushed to his aid, using her belt as a tourniquet on his left arm to stop the bleeding. SYTSMA started succumbing to blood loss, and the neighbor attempted to revive him with CPR. However, she was forced to retreat when the dogs returned, and the man passed away from his injuries. The couple who owned the canines was sentenced to nearly 5 years in prison for failing to contain them, even though they had previously bitten other residents. Number 8. Wendy Martinez. On September the 28th of 2018, a woman was stabbed to death near Washington, D.C.'s Logan Circle neighborhood. 35-year-old Wendy Martinez, who'd recently gotten engaged, was jogging in a busy and well-lit part of the city, only 3 blocks from where she lived. The attack took place at around 8 p.m. Roughly 20 minutes prior, 23-year-old Anthony Crawford had stolen a knife from a local grocery store. He approached Martinez and stabbed her multiple times. The woman managed to get away and staggered into a Chinese takeout restaurant. Others rushed to help her as she collapsed to the ground. The attack had caused severe damage to several of her vital organs, and Martinez failed to recover. Crawford had stabbed the woman at random and gave no reason for his actions. A psychologist deemed him fit to stand trial for first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. Number 7. Yovi Suarez Jimenez. In the spring of 2006, a woman was killed and partially eaten by an alligator in Florida. Yovi Suarez Jimenez, a 28-year-old biology student, was jogging near a canal close to her dormitory community, north of Fort Lauderdale. According to the woman's mother, who'd spoken to her prior to the attack, Jimenez was depressed. While no one saw the alligator take her, a witness claimed to have seen Jimenez dangling her feet in the water over the canal's edge. The attack was extremely brutal, and according to a medical examiner, she was already dead by the time the beast pulled her into the water. Jimenez was bitten on the leg and back, while the predatory animal had also basically amputated both her arms. After she was found floating face down in the canal, a search for the alligator was launched. After 4 days, trappers caught the 350-pound beast, and it took nearly 5 men to drag it out of the water. The alligator's stomach was opened up and parts of the victim's arms were found inside. The animal was blind in one eye, which trappers believed might have enhanced its aggression. Number 6. Danielle Brosouis and Patricia Herlinger. In the fall of 2019, Danielle Brosouis and her mother, Mary Kelly, were jogging through Spring Grove Cemetery in Cincinnati. Joining them was 55-year-old Patricia Herlinger. At some point during their run, rain started to fall and a security guard reportedly offered them a ride. The women declined, and as the guard drove away, he heard the crackling of thunder and saw a lightning flash. When the man returned, both Herlinger and 27-year-old Brosouis were on the ground, with Kelly struggling to revive them. The women had been struck by lightning and suffered severe heart damage. Brosouis was rushed to the emergency room, where she was pronounced dead later that day. Herlinger also succumbed to her injuries a few days later. Number 5. Dave Stevens. On October the 12th of 2015, Dave Stevens was jogging along White Rock Creek Trail in Dallas County, Texas. The 55-year-old had run several miles before he was attacked by a man with a machete and brutally hacked to death. The killer was 21-year-old Thomas Lynn Johnson, a former college football player for Texas A&M. Despite a promising career, Johnson had walked away from his team a few years prior. After butchering Stevens, he called the police and told them that an individual was lying down with a sword stuck in his head. When the authorities arrived, Johnson told them he'd just committed capital murder. The man didn't know his victim and claimed that he'd been looking for someone to kill because he was angry about being homeless. According to his family, Johnson heard voices in his head and doctors would later diagnose him with schizophrenia. 2 weeks after Stevens' death, his widow Patty was found in her closed garage. Unable to cope with his loss, the woman had committed suicide by carbon monoxide poisoning. Number 4. Larry Adams. In August of 2020, a man was jogging on Utah's Antelope Island when he had a fatal encounter with a wild animal. According to the Utah Department of Natural Resources, the man was alone and calling for help when 2 women found him. They called 911 and, along with park rangers, administered first aid. The man was taken to a hospital where he succumbed to his injuries later that day. 55-year-old Larry Adams had a self-described love and passion for the island. He'd posted to his social media about the hundreds of bison he'd encountered during his runs and urged other joggers to be cautious. Unfortunately, in spite of the wide berth he'd given the beasts, Adams's life would ultimately be claimed by one of them. The runner's injuries were consistent with the bison goring, and he had lacerations, which supported him having been thrown around by the animal, which can weigh over a ton. Number 3. Candice Berner. In 2010, 32-year-old Candice Berner was fatally mauled while jogging near the small village of Chignik Lake, Alaska. Berner, who was originally from Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, had come to the village to teach children with special needs. In March 2010, she was out for a run near the remote community where she encountered 2 or more wolves. It's unclear whether she'd surprised the beasts or if they'd been actively hunting her. Whatever the case might have been, the woman was fatally attacked and partially eaten by the animals. Wolf tracks were found around her mangled body. Wolf DNA recovered from Berner's clothing was later matched to that from wolves shot in the area. None of the animals suffered from rabies. Wildlife authorities couldn't determine why the attack had occurred, but argued that Berner was certainly treated like prey in the aftermath. One of the theories proposed that the beasts had become habituated to human presence and thus had gradually lost their fear of them. It's fathomable that to a hungry pack, Bergen, who was slightly under 5 feet tall, could have seemed like an easy target. Today's topic was requested by Big Rudd. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2. Ali BRUEGER. On July the 30th of 2016, a woman was gunned down during her daily jog in Oakland County, Michigan. 31-year-old Ali BRUEGER was running along Fish Lake Road in the village of Holly when someone shot her in the back 4 times in broad daylight. BRUEGER collapsed on the front yard of a nearby house and residents called the authorities.
There's a girl laying in my yard that just got shot a couple times.
Okay, she got shot?
Yes. Laying face down, she's bleeding all over the place. I gotta get out there and see if I can help her.
The young woman who worked as a nurse succumbed to the severe injury she sustained in the shooting. The injury had taken place roughly 2 miles from the woman's home, and her father, a Vietnam veteran, referred to it as an assassination. BRUEGER's mother told the authorities that she wasn't aware of her having had problems with anyone. The authorities couldn't rule out either parent as a suspect since they were each other's alibi, as they both claimed to have been at home when their daughter was gunned down. They were eventually cleared, and the father even passed a polygraph test. BRUEGER's death as of January 2021 remains a mystery. The police suspect that the victim knew her killer, with the exception of a light-colored 4-door sedan spotted in the area around the time of the shooting. There still aren't many reported leads regarding the woman's death. Number 1. Todd Beavers. In July of 2019, Florida man Curtis Miller was arrested and charged with second-degree attempted murder for swinging a sword at a jogger. Miller was searching through a pile of trash outside a vacant Oakland Park home. Jogger Todd Beavers was passing through and found a plastic 4-wheel cart, which he decided to take home. Miller and Beavers had an exchange of words, with the former claiming he had dibs on the discarded item. Beavers disagreed and took the cart. He made it to his front lawn, but upon turning around he saw Miller coming towards him with the unsheathed weapon. Both men started pulling on the cart. with Miller swinging the sword at Beavers several times. Fortunately, none of the strikes connected. He was forced to retreat when the jogger let him know the brawl was being recorded by the surveillance system of his home. Miller was later arrested while the cart's initial owner, who saw that the men had been fighting over it, retrieved it from Beavers. Thanks for watching. Would you rather go jogging in an ill-reputed neighborhood or along a crocodile-infested river? Let us know in the comments section below.